In this video, we're taking a closer look at one of the most talented players from the last years, Joao Felix. Still only 23 years old, Portugal's Joao Felix remains one of the most talked about players in the game. Expensive flop, one of the best young talents in football, or somewhere in the middle? Let's take a look at some of the reasons why this is still the case. But first, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. If I said the words football talent factory to you, Benfica should be one of the first teams that pops into your head. And yep, our protagonist's journey starts here. He made his Primeira Liga debut at the age of 17 and just a week later scored his first goal for Benfica in the Lisbon Derby. Talk about making an immediate impact. Rather unsurprisingly, the hype surrounding Felix quickly reached pretty high levels, with the Portuguese press quick to anoint the 17-year-old as the next big thing. During his one and only season playing for Benfica though, it appeared the hype was justified. Joao Felix, who was 17 at the start of the campaign and 18 by the end of it, enjoyed a remarkable debut campaign, scoring 15 times in just 26 appearances. Oh, he also helped Benfica win the league and was named the Primeira Liga Best Young Player of the Year, was also named in the Europa League squad of the season, and was later awarded the prestigious Golden Boy trophy. Awarded to the best young footballer in Europe, previous winners of the trophy include Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and Wayne Rooney. Pretty good company to keep. As you might imagine, the biggest clubs in Europe were sniffing around Felix, and Benfica being Benfica, they made sure that whoever wanted their young superstar would have to pay big bucks. Step forward Atletico Madrid, who paid a staggering 126 million euros for the young Portuguese superstar. No pressure then. Joao Felix joins an incredible list of players that Benfica have sold for mega money, including Ruben Dias, Darwin Núñez, Ederson, and new Chelsea man Enzo Fernandez. So you're now 19 years old. You've just been involved in the fourth most expensive transfer deal of all time, and Diego Simeone is your new manager. You've also been handed the number 7 jersey, previously donned by Atletico legend Antoine Griezmann. Time to get to work. Felix's first season at Atletico was pretty mixed. He scored 9 times in 36 games as Atletico Madrid finished 3rd in La Liga, and were knocked out of the Champions League at the quarterfinal stage. He suffered a few injuries, and we also saw some tension develop between Felix and Simeone, a worrying sign of things to come. In addition, that lovely Spanish sports newspaper Marca, who are never shy with an opinion of course, labeled Felix one of the most disappointing transfers of the season. So, all in all, it was a slow start to life in Spain for the Portuguese international, and given the size of his transfer fee, it's easy to see why some were quick to criticize. Fast forward to season number 2, and while things got better for Atletico Madrid, things overall remained pretty difficult for Felix. He was infected with COVID-19, so missed a number of games and scored 10 times in 40 games across all campaigns, keeping his goal record at 1 scored in every 4 games for Simeone's men. Again, some would argue that this is not the best return of investment for Atletico. On a brighter note though, Felix was named the La Liga Player of the Month for November of 2020, and Atletico Madrid shook things up in Spain, winning La Liga ahead of Barcelona and Real Madrid. Moving on to the 2021-2022 season, and you'll probably sense a pattern here. Things started pretty slowly for Joao Felix. He missed the first 3 games of the season, recovering from a previous ankle injury, returned, played a match, and was then promptly sent off for calling the referee crazy. It's a bold move on Felix's part. It was during the transfer window in this season that rumors regarding Felix's departure really started to amp up. Ultimately though, Felix stayed at the club, and Atletico fans finally got to enjoy the player at his best, as he enjoyed a successful second half of the season. He played a starring role as Atletico Madrid knocked out Manchester United in the Champions League, and was once again named the La Liga Player of the Month, as he scored 6 times and assisted twice more in just 6 games. He was named the Player of the Season by the Atletico fans, and things suddenly looked a lot brighter for our 126 million euro man. Incredibly talented, this was the Joao Felix that football fans expected to see, and it looked like the Portuguese playmaker was starting to fulfill his ridiculous potential. Of course, football is full of ups and downs, and this season has been an interesting one to say the least. We mentioned earlier in this video that there had been some tension between Joao Felix and Diego Simeone brewing. Why anyone would want to start a fight with Simeone is beyond us, and things came to a head this season. He began the season at Atletico and actually started off pretty well, providing 3 assists in 1 game as Simeone's men started the campaign off well. Needless to say, this didn't last. Following yet another disagreement with Simeone, Felix suddenly found himself the Argentinian's 5th choice attacker, a stunning fall from grace. A departure seemed to be the only solution for all parties, and Joao Felix got his wish as Chelsea signed the player on loan for the season. Felix didn't come cheap, as Todd Boehly's men reportedly paid an £11 million loan fee, and also covered all the player's wages. How did Felix repay his new club? Oh, he just got sent off on his debut, a 2-1 defeat to local rivals Fulham. To say this was not an ideal start is perhaps the understatement of the year. Felix would miss the next 3 games, and a month or so of action. Whatever happened in Felix's second game, besides getting sent off earlier than he did first time around, things had to get better for the Portuguese, and that is indeed what happened. Felix scored in another London derby, this time a draw against West Ham, earning positive reviews for his performance. Perhaps more importantly, Felix was very involved throughout the game and looked like a real part of the team rather than an expensive individual that Atletico Madrid fans might be familiar with. The biggest question surrounding Joao Felix at the moment is simply, what's next? There's no doubting his talent, and when he's on his game, he looks every bit a €100 million plus player. Sadly for Felix, his career, bar his first season at Benfica, has been inconsistent at best, but maybe Chelsea are the team that can unlock his massive potential on a more regular basis. Granted, Chelsea have a few issues of their own, with an under-pressure manager in Graham Potter, and an expectancy from both the fans and board to climb the table. This is especially true since Boehly has pumped over £250 million into the club since his arrival. It's going to be very interesting to see what the rest of the campaign has in store for the Stamford Bridge side, but we expect Joao Felix to play a huge part in things going forward. He's simply too good to not produce, and what better place to show your skills than the highest profile league in world football. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel as we continue to bring you weekly football content.